Hi, Andy here. We just got back from the Lake Placid Whiteface Mountain KOA in Wilmington, New York. I'm in my camper in my driveway. I've had the air conditioning on. I tried to cool it off in here. It is hot and steamy in New Jersey. I'm sure if we were back in the mountains it'd be nice and cool right now, and I have a sweatshirt on sitting by my campfire. But instead I'm here sweating. And I can run the air conditioning, but I don't have it on because I don't want the noise on the recorder. So, like I said, we just got back from the Lake Placid KOA. It was the first time we stayed here. It's the second time we've camped in the area. It was August 14th through the 21st, so it's the later end of August. Kids are kind of getting ready to go back to school, and it was a great way to. It was a great time of year to go up there. The water was warm. We were swimming in the rivers. We had beautiful weather during the day, nice and cool at night to have campfires, which is always one of my favorite things. So I'm here. One of our things with Living Level is that we like to make these videos to help you plan your trips, because I like to use YouTube channels to help me plan my trips. So this is us giving back, talking about what we did, and really it's just a way for us to go back and look at our old family videos and, you know, just remember the fun trips we've had. So sorry if it's not very professional, but this is what we do. This is just us sharing what we did. Hopefully it helps you, especially when you go to this area. Once you get up there, there's like no Wi-Fi, there's like no self-service. I mean, there's a little bit here and there, but it's really hard to plan your trip around when you get up there. We did that the first time we were there in 2015, and we went up there. I knew we wanted to go to Oswald Chasm, and I knew there were a couple things that we wanted to do, but once we got up there, like, we couldn't even get GPS for, you know, where we were going to get to places. So this time I had everything written down, and that's what I'm hoping to do with this. Give you some links to different things so you can help plan your trip. So, like I said, we stayed at the Lake Placid Whiteface KOA. We had site B08 was a full hookup, full through site. So I'm going to go day by day. We were there for 7 days, so I'm going to break down day 1, 2, 3, 4. I will put timestamps in down below in the comments so you can skip forward to things, so you don't have to hear about everything and watch me sweat. And it's just going to keep getting darker, apparently. I had a pretty view before. So I'm going to start with day 1. Day 1, we checked in. So we live in central New Jersey, so it takes us about 6 hours to get there. We go up the Garden State Parkway, and then we go up the thruway. I will go through over the directions and our rest stops at the end in case you're interested in that and planning your trips, because we have our fifth wheel. I'll get into it because there was a height restriction on one of the exits, so I'll talk about that later. So about a 6-hour drive for us. We pulled into the campground, and the KOA hosts were there, and they took us right to our site. We got hooked up, we got unpacked, and then we were able to go in and check in. So I absolutely love it when you do that, when they send you right to your site, and then you can go check in later. It makes, after a long day of driving, a lot better to go right to your site. Kids are happy, dogs are happy, husband's happy, wife's happy. So day 1, we checked in, and then we took the dogs for a walk around the campground. They have a dog walk. It's a designated dog walk just for the dogs. I guess people can use it too, but it's almost like a hiking trail that goes around the outside of the campground. It's a nice wooded trail. I loved it. I felt like I was taking a little hike every day. And halfway through it, there is a fenced-in dog run, so we were able to walk. The dogs get off leash, do their business, put them back on their leash, clean them up, put them back on their leashes, and finish our walk. I don't like it when I just walk around a campground and my dogs do their business on other people's sites. I don't want them doing it on my sites. So another 2 huge thumbs up was having a dog walk like this. So absolutely love having a dog walk. The next thing we did is we walked around just to check out the campground, get our bearings, and we walked down by the Flumes. The Flumes is a section of the Oswald River. There's some waterfalls, and it's all accessible right from the campground. I'll go more into the Flumes on future days when we were there swimming. And then we just hung out at our campground. The day 2, we went to Whiteface Mountain to get our Olympic passes. I'll talk about the Olympic passes as we use them. So we got them first because I wasn't sure if we could get them on the Veteran Memorial Highway. And since we were so close to Whiteface Mountain, right where the gondola ride is, the cloud splitter, I knew we could get the passes there. So I figured, let's get them, and then I don't have to worry about it to get on Veteran Memorial Highway, which was a little bit further away from the campground. So first we got our passes, and then we went on a hike. We went on Cobble Lookout, which was an awesome hike. It was about 2.4 miles. It was located near Stevens Lake, and it was also located near the Veteran Memorial Highway, where you get onto the highway to go up to the top, right where the toll is. Beautiful hike. It was a nice, easy hike, 2.4 miles. It was really nice, great for the dogs and the kids, and we all had an easy time on it. It kind of goes parallel, like along the mountain instead of going like up and down. And so you kind of go up and down and around the rocks, and there's certain areas that are pretty flat. We actually were able to run quite a bit of it. Got a nice morning workout, you know, work off the hot dogs and cheeseburgers. So it was actually nice. It felt good to get running in the morning. And so then it comes up to a nice clearing and beautiful views. And we hung out up there. We were the only ones there. We took some pictures. We walked around, and then other hikers came up. So we turned around. We came back down and went back down to our car. I'll insert some video footage of that trip, of that hike.
Hi.
I'm coming. It's hard to record and walk. Hi, so we're on Cobble Lookout. This is a hiking trail up in the Adirondacks. So pretty. So we're making our way back down. We've been on the trail for an hour, and now we are going back down to our car. So this trail looks like. There's rocks, but it's well marked. There's blue blazes on the trees, so that's helpful. So I've been walking the dogs, so I haven't been able to be recording because I was afraid I was gonna fall. But great hike. It's about 2.4 miles, and I'll show you the parking lot because when we got here, we were the only ones. We missed the parking lot. There was like one car parked. We had to go up about half a mile, and we turned around, and the parking lot was full, and people were all parked on the side of the road. So in a matter of 4 minutes, this place filled up. So when we got to the top, we were the only ones there, and had the place to ourselves. But now we're passing a lot of people going up. So I'd recommend getting here early. We got here, I was thinking here around 10, and you shouldn't have a problem parking. But now it's getting closer to lunchtime and there's more people, so. All right, bye. All right, so on the trail, when you're coming up, there's a path that goes this way and that way. You have to stay to the right. That's the way we went that way. So we saw the log, so we said we probably shouldn't go there. So we didn't, so we don't know where it goes. We'll have to research. So when you're heading up, stay to the right. And when you're coming, you'll see the blue. Can you see it? Yeah, there's the Flume. That you follow those blazes. So this is the parking lot. So if you come in, I guess about 4 cars fit. But the sign you're gonna look for, right here it says. Can you see it? So here it is, and there's the trailblaze, see? So there's the blue, that's what you're gonna follow. So you come in here and there's the trailhead, but there's parking on the street. And we parked down here. Let's get right over! So now we're heading to the castle, top of the mountain. So after that, we got in the car and we went over to the Veteran Memorial Highway. That hike, the trailhead is right down the street from the toll to get on the Veteran Memorial Highway. So we used our Olympic passes to get on that. If we didn't have our passes, we would have had to pay for the vehicle and the driver and then each of the passengers in the car. So with the Olympic passes, that was covered. So we drove up to the top, enjoyed the views. Again, I'll put some footage in of that. And then we got to the top, and what you do is you get to the top and they direct you to go up to park go up to the flagpole. You do like a K-turn, you turn around, you come back and you park. We did bring the dogs with us. There are 2 ways to get to the top from that point where you park. You can either take the elevator up or you can walk. It's 1/5 of a mile. It is a 1/5 of a mile. That is a workout. You go up a path and there's guardrails on both sides and steep drops, and it's like in parts. Sometimes there's stairs, but you use the handles going almost all the way up and down. I'm going to make a note about the dogs. We did bring our dogs. Our dogs are friendly. They tend to get along with most other dogs. They are very good at hiking. We heard a lot of people's comments, oh, I could have brought our dog, and I could have brought our dog. You know, they could have done it. They could have handled it. There are certain parts of this that are very narrow, and there are people I knew that didn't like dogs, and you know, I found a little place to stand aside, keep the dogs to the side, and let them pass. If you get in a part with another dog, it's close encounters, so keep that in mind if you are going to bring your dogs up on this hike. Just you know, the conscious for other people, other hikers and dogs, because the only way to this side is like down a cliff. So our dogs are absolutely fine. Thank goodness we had no problems. And plus, when you're hiking up like a steep mountain, they're tired, you know, and they're working to get up that mountain. So they were exhausted, and they had no fight in them, even if a dog came up to them. So it was just something to keep in mind. The dogs are not allowed in the elevators. We started up the walk, and quickly the kids were like, no way, you know, we want to take the elevator. So I said, well, we'll walk it up, and then we'll take the elevator down. When we got to the top, they saw how long the line was for the elevator, and they decided instead of taking the elevator, they'd rather walk down. So we all walked down, and we're glad we did, because it's just a spectacular views. You overlook Lake Placid, and it's just so pretty, and it's just it's a challenging walk. It's an exciting walk, and it's just fun. I'm glad that we did it. So, you know, that's an option if you want to walk up it and take the elevator down, or take the elevator up. It might be easier to walk down. So just something to think about. Okay, so we just climbed all the way up. We're making our way down. So it's much easier on the way down than on the way up. The stairs. There's nice handrails, so you can pretty much keep your grip. And the dogs did fine going up. It was a lot of fun. And then we went to the Castle Café for lunch. That's right there on the top of the mountain. Brady had the grilled cheese, so we're going to recommend the grilled cheese. I had a salad, and we all had different things to eat, but the grilled cheese was really good grilled cheese. So we were lucky to get a table that overlooked Lake Placid. The views were just beautiful. So that's a fun little trip there. You can do the hike in the morning to Cobble Hill, and then you drive right over to Veteran Memorial Highway. You drive up on top, and you get to see the views, and then you can eat lunch. So that's a good little plan for in the morning. You can stop at Stevens Pond right there, and you can fish. It's a good little fishing hole for the kids. After that, we headed back to the campground, I believe. Yep. After that, we went back to the campground, and we swam in the river. We went down to the Flumes. So I think I talked about this. We wear your water shoes. What I did was, you're going to see a lot of the video footage come up. This is my DJI Osmo Action. It's like a GoPro. I'll turn it on. So it has, I'm recording myself. So you can see everything you're recording. And then if you want to see yourself, you can switch it around. There's all different ways to do it. So then it has a self one. So when you see me like going up the mountains and stuff like that, I'm holding this thing. This yellow thing is, it floats if I drop it in the water. I have, oh, I'm recording. I didn't mean to do that. I brought this little pack. This is like a waterproof pack. This is something I brought down to the Flumes. This had like a little selfie stick kind of a thing. A wristband, a charger, dog poop bags, you know, all the essentials on your camping trip. And then I had like this little, comes, the DJI, you can get the accessory pack, and it comes with like little tripods. It has I think like 20 or 30 pieces of different things it comes with. So having a little bag like this is handy, because when you cross the Flumes, you're going to go over, there's like a little island, you're going to navigate through the water, it dips down and things. So this is like a waterproof bag. This was handy to have and put our cell phones in to keep them dry. If we go back again, I would like to bring I brought like a little raft. So what I did was I was floating on my tube, holding my camera like this, which I think it should be in a waterproof case, which it was not. So you'll see a lot of the footage on the river. You're going to see like just going around. So that was me. I was floating on a tube holding this. So that's how I took it. This DJI Osmo Action is awesome. I took this on all of our hikes. I've kind of been leaving my good camera equipment behind because that thing is awesome. Super happy with it. So we went down to the Flume. So the Flumes you walk down to right from the campground. You come down. If you're walking down from the campground, you're going to see big waterfalls first. You're going to keep going down. They call it the beach area. There's lots of people there. People from the campground. People who come off the street. A lot being maybe 20. People come and go. And then you'll see hikers because there's a trail there. And they come walking by and dip their feet in the water. So what we did is we took the dogs down. There's like a little island area. The dogs just chilled out on there. They weren't too thrilled about going. I mean, the water's whipping. So they were like hesitant, like, yeah, I'm just going to stay here in this sunny spot in the middle. So they hung out there and we went in and the kids jumped. So there's rocks there where you can jump. There's 3 levels. There's 1, 2, 3. And then there's a 4th one in a different area on one of the higher waterfalls. We all took turns jumping off the rocks. I only made the 1st level. Brady and I were the 1st level, and Sean and Shay did the 2nd level, and then Shay was doing the high one like a crazy man. And then there's another area, there's waterfalls where people jump off of, and you can't see the bottom over there. It's just like the base of a waterfall, and people just jump, and you don't see them and hope they come up. And I didn't like that. I didn't like watching it. I mean, you did. Everyone's sitting around watching everybody jump. But I'm nervous. But we jumped so many times off that one area, and they say the bottom there is sandy, but all around is rocks. It's just rocks, 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 rocks. So you have to know where to jump, the one little area, and you'll see everybody jumping, and you'll know what to do. But it's still so scary. So I climbed up there. I was watching them do it for days, and I finally went up there, and I did it, and I was like, yay. So I recommend bringing water shoes, a waterproof camera so you can take pictures, or like a little bag or something to bring your stuff in. Our towels we leave on the one side. One day I brought it across and I dunked them in the water, so oopsie. So they got a little wet, but we didn't even need towels. It was nice. So the water's really, our kids are 10 and 11 and they had fun. They were just walking around and building little waterfalls and jumping off the cliffs and swimming. If they were much younger, I would have been very nervous. There were some local kids there. There was this one young kid, I think he was 5 or 6 years old, and he was doing flips off of the jumps, and I couldn't watch. It's not for me. But it was really fun because people go up there and they're scared, and everyone's like, do it, and they jump, and everyone cheers, and that's wonderful entertainment. Nobody got hurt while we were there, knock on wood. Everyone was having a really good time. And then, like, you can swim off, and there's, like, these little pools, like, you sit on the rocks and sunbathe, and the water it goes by. It's just the best campground amenity ever. I could just hang out in those flumes all day. We didn't go in the flumes last time we stayed here, where we were at North Pole Resorts or down the street. We did go over, but it was thundering lightning, and nobody was there, so we went and looked, but we didn't know where you should go, and obviously we weren't going to jump in the river when it was thundering lightning. But it's right there. So if you stay at North Pole Resorts or the KOA, if you're at the KOA, you're going to come on the one side of the flumes. Otherwise, you drive up and park and you're on the other side. It's a lot of fun there, though. So after we did that, we went, and then I just hung out and knitted and hung out at the campfire. It was a perfect day. So on day 3, we went to the Adirondack Wildlife Rescue and Rehab, which is located only a couple miles, I don't even think 2 miles from the campground. You just pull out the campground and basically you're there in 3 minutes. So this is open a couple days during the week. You have to check the schedule before you go. There is no charge to get in, but I asked what the suggested donation was, and they said for a family it's $20, so I happily gave them $20. You can buy t-shirts, stickers, badges, all kinds of things there to help support this place. So, the first thing you walk in, you're greeted by 3 wolves, and I just love wolves. So this was the one day I was glad I had my big girl camera, and I was taking lots of pictures with that. The purpose of this whole tour and going there is they educate you. So there was actually a guide standing in with the wolves to tell you all about the history of the wolves and just to understand wolves. And you're there, it's an educational experience. You move on, and each step there seemed to be somebody there in the enclosures to tell you, okay, these are these wolves and these are the coyotes, and then there was literature, there were like signs up that explained what you were looking at. And there's a bear enclosure, and you walk up and there was a girl up there and with carrots, peaches, like all kinds of fruits and vegetables. and she'd hand it to you, and you throw it into the bear enclosures, and the bears would eat it. And a funny little story about the bears was last March they actually got loose. They got out of their enclosure, and they were missing for, I don't know if it was a couple weeks or however long it was. And they went in different directions, I guess, but they were spotted, and they were telling us about the one bear. They found it, and one of the handlers came in, and they went up to the bear. Yep, that's our bear. And so this is out in the wild. And so they're like, okay, well, we're going to have to get the caretaker to come. Like, we're going to have to bring it back. So it just started following him to his car. So he's like, okay, I'll just keep walking back. So they were 3 miles from the refuge. So he started walking. This is the story they told. I could have messed it up. I don't know. But they walked back 3 miles, but it was through like the water and the sludge, and the guy walking, and the bear just followed the whole way. And they said that bears have a sense of humor. So he would fall in the mud and whatever, and lose his balance, and the bear, they said, would just stop and laugh at him. But it followed him the whole 3 miles back there, and they built a bigger enclosure, and they got the other one back, and they're there and as happy as can be. So it was a fun little story to see the bears, because everybody that came up were like, were these the bears that got loose? So those are the bears that got loose, but they're all there for educational, so they're all there for a reason. We saw bald eagles, snowy owls, ravens, turkey vultures, foxes, all kinds of animals, and they have it all set up. You can use your phone and scan little things, and it tells you about each thing there. So if there's not someone there to tell you about it, you can easily look it up. There's a little hiking trail, which we did, and they said if you're lucky you can see a moose in this one little area. We didn't see a moose. And the trail kind of ended, so we turned around and we came back. But it's right around the corner from the campground. I highly recommend doing that. It was much nicer than I was anticipating. I figured there's wolves, I have to go see them, they're this close. But ended up being a really, really fun morning going there. After that, we did the Cloud Splitter gondola ride. This was something we were watching the weather for. Like I said earlier, you can't predict the weather up here. The weather can change. I'll say it's going to storm. It doesn't storm, but you can look up at Whiteface Mountain and know if it's in the clouds or not. So we were looking at Whiteface Mountain, and you could see the clouds coming. I'm like, well, I can see the top of the gondola ride. So I can see the top of the gondola ride, so let's go. Let's just go up it. So that's part of our Olympic pass. So they scanned our passes. You get up to the top of the mountain. You get out of the gondola, and you can walk around, and they have signs up with the high peaks, so you can see all the high peaks. A little tip, I didn't realize it until we were leaving. When you get off the gondola and you look straight ahead, there's like a picnic area. People are up there eating their lunch. But if you go to the left there and up a little bit of a hill, there's a elevation sign, which is nice to get a picture in front of. So we just went up there and took a couple pictures, and we were watching the clouds come in. They were coming in, and then we went over and we just took a couple pictures, and the clouds were coming in, and then we went down the gondola ride. By the time we got to the bottom, the whole top of the mountain was covered in clouds. So we had great views when we were up there, and I was able to get some good pictures. So with that Olympic pass, you can just go up and down that as many times as you want. If it was up to me, I would have just kept going up every day, but I don't know, they didn't, I don't know. We had a lot of stuff to do in 7 days. So that's really nice. I thought it'd be fun to see it in the morning and the midday and in the evening. So, and then after the gondola ride, we went to Lisa G's restaurant. I had put my husband in charge of looking up a restaurant to eat at up in Lake Placid. So I was like, here, I'll figure out the activities, you figure out a restaurant. So he came back and gave me Lisa G. So I said, great, let's go. I didn't do much research on it, but it said it's a local's favorite. Ended up being great. They have outdoor seating. When we got there, they didn't have any seating available, so we sat inside. It was really good. I would recommend it. It was an easy place to go in and get something to eat. So after that, we drove up, and we went up and saw where they were doing the skiing into the pool, and they were flipping up into the pool. That's all right there. And that was free. You could just drive up and see that. They're renovating the bobsled area, and they're putting in zip lines and all kinds of other things. So there were things that weren't open while we were there, like the big ski jump. That should be open in 2020, but it was not while we were there. So, but we did get to see them flip into the pool, and I thought it was so much fun. I took lots of pictures of that, and So from there, it was still overcast, so we just drove around Lake Placid. We drove around Mirror Lake just to get ourselves situated with like the town. We've never been in the town. So we just drove around. We saw where the Olympic Center was and kind of got our bearings. And then we just drove back to the campground. On day 4, we went to breakfast at the lodge, which was right at the campground. They serve breakfast from 8 to 10 in the morning. They have like pancakes. I think we talked about this in our 5 minutes at the campground. Beautiful setting. We went up there, ate. It's a nice break from cooking breakfast. And then we just spent the rest of the day at the campground. We were swimming in the flumes. This campground has 2 playgrounds and a pool. We didn't use any of it. They have activities. We didn't do any of them. We are at the campground. We are at the Flumes. This is a walking distance from the campground. There's my tube over there. See my tube. I use that to float around. So you can walk here. There's a trail right from the campground. There's access over here from the street. And so people come down, they hike down, and you can swim. And the big attraction over here is nobody's jumping at the moment, but there's big cliffs you can jump off of. So we have the dogs out here. There's like a little island here, as you can see. So the dogs are kind of chilling out here. We came in, the way you get here is back here behind me. We crossed over from there, towels and stuff over there. And so the water's whipping pretty good, so you do get knocked around. It's pretty shallow. So we all have water shoes on, and like I said, I have this nice little, I bought like $1 raft. Makes it easy to get around, so. Alright, so this is the Flumes. It's a lot of fun. We just loved hanging out in the river and just hanging out at our campsite. Our campsite was close to the people next to us. All right, this is how close we are to our neighbors. Are there hammocks? Some of the sites are a little more distanced out from each other. We do have a big fifth wheel. I don't expect there to always be a lot of room between us and our neighbors, but we were kind of tight. But then on the other side of us, they had a lot of room because of where the trees were, so it kind of broke it up. So some of the sites are a little tight, some of them are a little bit wider. Like I said, we have a big rig, we take up a lot of room, so you know, sometimes we don't get all that space. So I'm not complaining at all, especially since this is the type of campground that you don't spend a lot of time at. I kind of liked that it was compact, everything's one little spot, and nobody, you know, it's just not heavily trafficked, people aren't going to be cutting through, and it's just, I really didn't mind the site size. But when you go around to the back of the campground and you see the tent sites and they're spread out and they have all this room back there, and that's, yeah, a little bit jealous. And then, okay, so that was an easy one. Day 4, we didn't do anything. We just hung out. So day 5, we went horseback riding. And we went horseback riding, and that was at the Adirondack Horse Ranch. That was about 40 minutes from the campground. So it's closer to, I think, Saranac Lake. And we went, wonderful horse ride. Love the ranch, love the horses. We reserved a spot. I was able to do it on my phone, and we picked a time that worked for us. And it's 40 minutes from the campground, so they say walk-ins are welcome, but I didn't want to drive all that way and then find out we couldn't go horseback riding. I think they have about 26 horses on the ranch, and they do take a certain number of group trail rides up, but we made a reservation. We showed up at time. They said the gates will be closed. We expect them to be closed. And we're like, okay, the gate's closed, and it was our time to come. They came, open the gate, and we went up. And as we were going up, you could see, like, fields are open. I'm like, oh, the horses can walk around. Yeah, the gate's closed because the horses will walk out in the street. So you just have to wait at the gate, and they'll come and get you when it's your time, and you come up, you fill out your paperwork. They do a great informational video to give you, go over how to, like, steer the horses and, how to treat them and that whole thing. It was a great little video, and then you get on the horses and you go on the trail ride. The horses had bitless halters, so they didn't have the bit in their mouths, and it was just over their noses. Such well-trained horses. They were so nice. They were so gentle. You could tell the people that worked there were just love the horses. They know the horses really well. Very well cared for. And I grew up with horses, so it was just nice to see how well cared for they are. And highly recommend doing that. We did the 1-hour ride. And this to me is one of those things that you might ask for as a Christmas present. Like, you're going to Lake Placid and be like, hey, for Christmas, can you get us a gift certificate or pay for us to go on the horse ride? Because it was fun, and it's a little more expensive than a lot of the other things in this area. So I highly recommend that. Put that on your Christmas list if you know you're going to Lake Placid. And then we stopped. And there's all these on the way. So unique groceries. So this is day 5. And so we went past the grocery store. We went by all these. I was so excited because we needed water and this and that. And there's not many grocery stores up there. So we pulled in, and I got a couple more things to cook for the rest of the week. And so, if you're planning on having a grocery store and you go horseback riding, stop at all these. And then we stopped at the North Pole Resorts. That's where we had camped last time we were up in this area. One of the things we loved about the North Pole Resorts was they have like the biggest selection of craft beer. So we would go hiking and we were doing things in the area, and then we go back up and we get a mix match pack of beers, like a 6-pack, and then we drink that at the campfire, and then the next day we go up, pick out different ones. And so we stopped there, and while we were there, I bought this little hiking bag, and I thought I should show this. I don't know if it's a hiking bag, but I got this at North Pole, and I love this thing. So one of my recommendations was the DJI. It fits in here. I have my phone. It fits in here, and I could put it in the front, so as we were hiking, I could just be like, let's take a video. I was using a bigger backpack. I have it with a water thing and that whole thing, but loved this bag. The best thing I've purchased. I don't buy a lot of things. I don't know who makes it, but I bought it at North Pole Camping Resort, so you should go there. So we got our beer, we got our souvenirs, and then we just hung out the rest of the day at our campground. On day 6, we went to the marina, and on day 6 we planned on going on a boat trip on Lake Placid. So we went to the marina. We drove up to the marina, and they have timed boat trips. And the weather was looking sketchy, but like I said, you can't predict the weather in this area. So we ended up booking I think they were at 11:30. We were there at 11:45. So we booked the 2:30 boat ride, and then we just went into town and we went to the Olympic Center and we checked out the museum and the ice skating rinks, which I wish I was in right now. It'd be so cool. It's so hot in New Jersey. So we went to the Olympic Center, and we finally were able to get Miracle on Ice, the original one, on DVD, which we had been searching for the whole time before we went to this camping trip. And then while we were up there, so this was day 6, we went, like, every store. We're like, do you sell Miracle on Ice? Do you sell Miracle on Ice? So finally we went to the museum, and they actually had it on DVD, because the DVDs work in our RV. I'm looking at it right now, so we play it. So we finally got to watch it, and the kids got to see where they played the Olympics in the 1980, and they played the game, and so glad they got to see that while we were up there, and actually visit the rink. And now we have a copy of it, so we can watch it over and over in our camper. So we got that at the museum, and then we drove back for our 2:30 boat ride, which is at the marina. And for adults, it was like $17.50, and then I forget what the kids were. Very affordable boat ride. They have 2 pontoon boats. They both went out at the same time, and when we got there, it was sold out. So I'm glad that we had bought the tickets when we were there earlier. And our guide was like a local guy from the area. He grew up on the lake, and that's what I like. I like to go on these boat trips and learn about the lake, learn about the history of the lake, learn about what's going on the lake, so that if we do come back, like if we tend to rent boats and go out in the lakes, and if we're on a pond, wherever we are. So I like having a tour guide on like an area we haven't been. So if we come back and we rent a boat, we kind of have an idea of where to go on the lake, and we know a little about the lake, we know the depth, we know like this is a good area for this. So we learned about the Lake Placid is a spring-fed lake, so all the water comes up from the ground, and it's in this one particular area, and they said the water there is always really, really cold because that's where the water comes up. So we learned about that. We saw the cliffs where you can jump off. We heard some old stories about things about the lake, and about people who live there, and the views, and the islands, and who owns this and who owns that, and what's the state lands. And so really got our bearings. I highly recommend that trip. Like I said, there were 2 pontoon boats that go in out at once. You buy your tickets, you go in, and then they kind of sort you out, and you go with either boat, and they go out and they ride all around. So I highly recommend that. When we go back again, there's a tour, there's boats where you can actually have a captain and go water skiing and tubing and doing all that. And that is what we would like to do the next time we go. But just to get your bearings on the lake, if you've never been there and you want to know a little bit about it, great way to see the lake. Very affordable, a very affordable way to do it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna jump in the lake. Okay. Did we make it? We made it to day 7. Alright, I just stood in front of the fan. I hope I cooled myself up. Alright, so on day 7 we just hung out. We swam all day. We jumped off the cliffs. I jumped off the cliffs. We all had fun. We did run out once and got gas, and then other than that, we just hung out at the campground all day and had a wonderful time. And we also recorded our 5 minutes at the campground. I recorded it once, didn't have my mic plugged in. So then we recorded again. We were sitting by the campfire, and I was trying to show how quiet it was there. And the one time our neighbors had like friends come that weren't staying there, and they came and they all pulled up as I had the camera out, and I'm like, it's the first time it was noisy. But other than that, like, you didn't hear music, you didn't hear people, nothing. It was just quiet. It was crickets. And I love that. It's like nice and quiet. And my husband always has the music on, and he even felt awkward playing the music. He's like, I gotta turn it off because there's nobody making any noise. So I'm gonna insert the 5 minutes of the campground here, and you can see us at the campfire. It got dark, so I don't know if you can see much, but this is a little what it's like at the campground. Okay. Alright, the mic is on. Go ahead, Brady.
Hi. This campground is
Where are we?
really fun.
Where are we?
I don't know.
Where are we? You never know where we are. We are at
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid,
New York.
KOA, New
I
York.
finally remember.
Awesome. What was your favorite part?
Oh, my favorite part? That's hard.
Hold on, what side are we on?
Got me on
Yeah, you're on there. Say hi. D, what are we? Are we
there? Why
D?
you got me on
Are
there?
we D8? I think we're on site D8. Pull through 50 amp site.
How come she's not on?
Because he's pulling out his tooth. So this,
No, he's just touching it.
this is our 5 minutes at the campground. So you get a feel for what it's like to be at the campground. It's very, very quiet. Hopefully you can hear us. Oh.
I really like climbing Mount Whiteface Mountain.
Whiteface Mountain. Did you like going in the gondola? Driving? Do you like the driving part?
I like the driving part. You get to drive up there and you climb this really tiny stairway that's
Tiny
like
stairway.
1,000 feet up. It's crazy.
Yep. So we're gonna do little short videos of each of the things that we did while we were here, because if not, our video would be forever long. So we're gonna break it down into smaller videos. So we've been to the Olympic Center. We went horseback riding. We went. What else did we do?
We jumped off cliffs.
We jumped off cliffs, and that's something you do at the campground.
We went on a tour on a boat.
We went on a boat beyond Lake Placid, and
there's like this island that we went on. There's a river.
we went on the river. Oswald River.
There's two big playgrounds that are pretty cool. There's one near the camp store that is for like younger kids, and there's one by the river over there.
Yeah, in the back section of the campground, there's one that has really high swings that go really high, and it has rope swings.
Or they have like ropes that you can climb up. And there used to be bells, but now there's not.
No, yeah, that would probably get annoying all night. People are going up ringing the bell. So this is a very quiet campground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, super quiet.
And they have the last radio.
Just like you. Yeah. So right now everybody's settling in. It's a Tuesday night around 8 o'clock. People are settling at the campfires. So we are in a 50 amp full hookup site on this whole front section of the campground. Through sites. We just put in a request to come again next year. You can request site numbers, but they don't guarantee that you'll get it. When we originally booked, the only option we had was we asked for 50 amp, and the only thing that was available were pull-throughs. So this is what we got. And do you like our site?
Yeah.
Oh, you like our
pretty nice.
hammocks, right?
There's good hammocks.
But we're gonna try, when we're rebooking, we're gonna try and get closer to where the river is, because we've had to walk. We walk all the way down.
It's not a bad walk though.
No, and all the way back. So we're just trying to get a couple sites closer to the river access. So other than that, but right here is easy. We can walk to the store.
It's really nice.
So yeah, a lot of people coming in and out. There's no, it's not a regular Saturday. People are pulling in and out the entire time we've been here. But it's still very quiet. There's only a couple golf carts going around. Right?
There's like scoops and that.
Yeah. Right.
Wait,
So there's two playgrounds. We like the playgrounds. There's a snack shop up by the pool. We got some food there. You got funnel cake.
Yeah. I didn't eat it.
Look at, there's a cricket. There's a cricket on my watch. Why don't I go on the fire?
So what are you saying? The main attraction of this campsite is
I don't want it to jump at me. Face it away towards me.
Go by
not the
drink.
playground,
Jump at me.
not the pool. Pool's like my backyard pool.
Yeah, but it's
the-
heated.
It's where they call it the Flumes.
Yeah, the flumes. Oh, it's on.
Flumes on the Oswald River. So you walk down there. It's
There you go.
it's like a walk-in, climb over the rocks, get in the water. Huge body of area of water you swim around in over your head. 25-foot cliff you could jump off into the water, which
Well, there's different levels,
should be
right?
first.
The
Yeah,
25 is the
there's
highest.
probably about a 5 foot,
It's not moving.
5 foot, and then 15 foot, then 25 foot. There's also, I didn't do it.
Is it 5 foot or 10 foot?
It's like a 5 foot.
5 foot?
That first level? The one you did?
Yeah. That's
Maybe-
like 20 feet for sure.
No, maybe 6 foot. And then there's a 35 foot over the waterfall, which I wouldn't do.
Oh yeah, don't do that. That's scary. So we brought water shoes, bring water shoes. I brought a wrap or tube. It was it's very rocky and it's slippery to get around. So bring like a backpack that's waterproof, like something you would take kayaking, something that so you can bring your towels and whatever you want. Plan on going down and hanging out by the water if the weather's nice. So water shoes, bathing suits, towels, something waterproof that you can get across. I liked having my little tube. I could float around.
And there's also the area. So it's, people come here, not really, if you stay here, you're fine. But like we did, you venture out, and there's so many different attractions.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll show all the
Hikes.
things that we did. Yeah, hiking.
The Olympic, what do they call it? The Olympic complex was shut down for, they're putting in brand new like zip lines,
Yeah. So
bobsled rides, and
yeah.
stuff like that.
What was it? The bobsled rides.
They'll be available next year.
Yeah, the bobsled rides are shut down, and then
Zip lines.
they're putting in zip lines. What else was shut down? We wanted to do though. I forget. But but they're building things up, so that's why we want to come back in next year. There'll be more stuff.
Also, when you how like there's like at the I forgot what it's called, but camp store, the camp store.
Yeah.
Above it, there's like a stairway that goes up. There's like a buffet, and it's open to like.
Yeah, the lodge. So in the
like,
morning.
closes at-
So there's the lodge does breakfast every single day. So from 8 to 10, you can go up and get pancakes, eggs, like breakfast sandwiches, hot chocolate, coffee.
Milk.
Yeah, so that's a big perk. Especially there's a lot of tent sites here. If you didn't want to cook at your site in the morning, you just go up there and you can eat. We went up there. Food was very good. Overlooked.
Pancakes were amazing. They're like.
Good pancakes.
Not better than mine.
So that was good. That's a perk.
Yeah,
And then there's a snack shop which is open from 5 to 8, so you can get chicken fingers, burgers and dogs and things like that.
I don't eat chicken.
Just
I
if you go to the river, don't expect it to be just like sand bottom. Like it's not that. It's like
There's like no sand. There's barely any sand.
it's just all rocks, slippery rocks. So be careful. You might slip.
Yeah, when you're walking around, you gotta be really careful. Since if you're in like a spot where there's like a little bit of like a small waterfall.
I took 2 falls, but that's what makes it more fun.
You can
Yeah, you fall a lot.
accidentally, like slip and hit your head.
Yeah, so our bathing suits are filthy because we were, you're kind of sitting on all the rocks and there's algae so don't bring your best stuff to swim in the river, but it is clean,
Oh,
right?
it's clear. It's
Very
really
clean, yeah.
clear. Except when the shadow's on it, you can't see through it, but it's really
It's coming
clear.
down from the mountains.
Yeah. So,
And
yeah.
it wasn't cold this time of year.
You get a
Feels
great
good.
view of Whiteface Mountain. Sometimes, and some days, you can actually see the mountains from far away. Those huge mountains. And if you look close enough, at the top of that mountain, you can see a little weather tower,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah, so when it's clear, you can see it. So our neighbors next to us here, they're sitting out their fire. They're from Switzerland. And we thought, like, these mountains are huge. And they're like, they're bumps.
Yeah.
They're little hills.
Guy was laughing out loud.
They're making fun of our mountains. But to us, it's not New Jersey, that's for sure. So we like the mountains, but yeah, it's not Switzerland.
Well, the highest mountain in New York State is Marcy Mountain, 5,300
Yeah,
feet. And in Switzerland, there's
it's like
a bunch of 14,000 to 15,000.
15,000, yeah. So but we didn't do too many super extreme hikes, but we will when we come back. Okay, so we can jump. The
But
reward
the
will
West
be
Coast,
coming
there's-
back
what
and
was there?
jumping.
In the West Coast, there's an 18, right? 18,000 foot.
You said in Alaska.
Well,
We were really
Alaska's
researching.
19,000, but I think on the lower 48 there's
Dogs are on
18,
tap.
17,000, 18,000. There's a couple mountains.
Yeah. So it's super quiet here, as you can see. Of course, Rudy now is going to bark. There she goes.
She's a little puppy.
Rudy. So it's very, very quiet. Definitely peaceful. We had a couple rainy nights, so we went in and watched movies. We watched The Miracle, and then we went to the Olympic Center. That's what Miracle on Ice.
We also watched people like practicing skiing by going
Ro-
down
ro-
those giant ramps, and they're doing like flips and like all these cool tricks and running into this water.
Yeah, they're doing flips and jumping in. We'll talk all about that when we go into what things that we did. But one of the things I like here at the campground, I love that the kids can each have a hammock set up at our campsite. I love the dog walk. There's like an awesome hiking trail just for the dogs. There's a little fenced in area for the dogs. Absolutely love that. And obviously going to the river was my major
cliff
perk. So
jumps.
this is our 5 minutes. I don't know if you can see us anymore. It's getting dark. Hang out by the campfire. We're packing up and we'll be heading home in the morning.
Okay, so directions. I just want to talk about directions. We have a 37-foot fifth wheel. Our height is something. 13 something. I'm not sure. But, so for directions for us, we go up the Garden State Parkway. We live in central New Jersey. We drive up the Garden State Parkway as long as we stay in the center lane. There are some low height issues, but we're fine going up. We go up to the New York Thruway, keep going up, and the directions will tell you to take exit 30. At exit 30, there is an overpass that you have to go. You'll get off the exit and you'll have to go under. It's 12'9" is what's posted. If you take went on Google Images and it says 12'9". I knew from being there before there was a low height issue there. I called the campground and they said, one of the employees said that they were able to get under it with the big fifth wheel and that they don't think this posted right. I didn't want to take a chance. Good Sam had me going up to exit 31, so that's what we did. I'm going to put in our gas stops that we went to. What I do is I usually put in our gas stations that we're going to go to. I tend to put those in our GPS in the truck so I know that we get to where we need to be and we don't get, it doesn't decide to go any other routes, especially if I know we need to go a certain route because of the height. So we'll put the gas stations that we went to. We have a gas truck, so these gas stations are for gas. When we got off, we ended up going to exit 31, and right off exit 31, you make your first right. Technically, you should be going left, but we went to our first right, and there's a gas station right there, and we filled up at that gas station because I wasn't sure about the hills and burning gas. It's only about 30 minutes from when you get off at exit 31 to the campground, but in the past I knew those hills were like woo, like we were working, so I wanted to hit those hills with a full tank of gas, so we filled up right there. So I will put that link in below. You'll see the gas station. I'll put northbound because we were going northbound. You can fill up there, and then also your GPS will take you to where you need to go, and then so we took that, and that puts you on exit 30 will take you on 9N to 73. I don't know if that made us avoid a lot of hills. We have gone off the other way, and I remember being like up and down and up and down and up and down and being beautiful and seeing waterfalls and like cliffs off the side of the road. Exit 31 didn't seem that way, but we had two areas that we were really, really working on the way back to get up and over those hills. So if you know, please write it down below. Like, we have a fifth wheel, we have no problem with exit 30, the hills are not bad. Maybe next time we go up there, we'll heed that advice and go that way. But 31 seemed fine. Like I said, there were two spots that seemed a little rough, but that was it. Other than that, it was smooth sailing. And then southbound, we did one stop on our way home, and we were able to get home. So that was nice. So that was my one thing I want to say about the directions. Back in 2015, we stayed at the North Pole RV Resort. That's when we had our travel trailer. We decided to stay there and not the KOA because it was right on the river where it was like a swimmable, more like a calmer area. So right down the street from the North Pole Resorts, and we rode our bikes. We would go down. There's the Wilmington Town Beach at Lake Everest. We could ride our bikes. Sorry, I'm sweating. New Jersey. So we could ride our bikes. It was a nice beach. You could swim. The water was nice and calm there. It was perfect for the age of our kids. I think they were like 4 and 5 or 5 and 6 at the time. There was a beach. There's a playground. The views were really pretty. I was able to run the dogs over there. That you can access still from, well, you would have to just get in your car from the KOA, because the KOA and North Pole Resorts are right by each other. So you can come down and you can drive down and go to that beach. We didn't go there this time. Also at North Pole we were able to go fishing right from the beach. We didn't go fishing at the KOA. It's a rough area. I'm sure if we knew how to fly fish, you could do that there. Last time we were there in 2015, we went to Cobble Chasm. Cobble Chasm was awesome. It was amazing. Highly recommend going to that. Not only that, I mean, just the ride to get there was really nice. We also fished at Lake Stevens. Our kids are really into fishing then. I mean, they were asking to go again this time, but it was like, hey, let's jump off of rocks and cliffs. That was more fun. So we didn't fish, but if you do want to take the kids fishing, Lake Stevens was a good flow place. The Hungry Trout restaurant, we actually walked to from the KOA. Was nice. It's beautiful. You can sit outside, and the scenery is amazing. And I know we like the food. We didn't go there this year. And then Santa's Workshop's down the street, and there's a bunch of other things. We didn't do Santa's Workshop, but we know a lot of people that usually do go there when they're in the area with younger kids. So that was our trip to Lake Placid KOA. I'm not going to talk much about sites because if you don't get to pick your sites here, you can request a site, but it's not guaranteed that you'll get it. If you have 50 amp and you want a 50 amp hookup, you go ask for the 50 amp hookup. I did put in some requests for certain sites that we would like to go back to, and I would just recommend, if your kids are older and you are planning on going down to the Flumes and you think you're going to be spending a lot of time down there, just ask to be closer to the Flumes. If your kids are more interested in using the pool and the playground, big truck store. If you're more interested in using the playground and you think you're going to be, if you're more interested in the playground and the pool, ask to be up by the store. Campground it's big, it's spaced out. It's easy to get around it though. We did not bring our bikes this trip. We didn't have a bike rack, so we left them at home. Totally didn't miss not having the bikes, but if we had the bikes, you could definitely bike ride around this campground. You couldn't take your bikes down to the Flumes. I mean, it's steep going down, so I wouldn't recommend that. And also the trail does go around and it comes back up to another area. If you're looking at the map, it goes around and it comes back out up here. We never walked around the whole way. I think we were so exhausted. We're like, just go back the way we came. And I kept saying I was going to do it, and I didn't. But you won't realize the path is there. So if you go to the campground and you go towards the back, there's a bunch of tents. In this back corner, there's like a little trail, and I'll put in a picture. There's a nice clearing. And that trail goes down. You can walk all around the river. We'll do that next time we go. We just did so much. 7 days, it just goes by so fast, and there were so many things we wanted to do. We wanted to go to the Wild Center. We wanted to do so many things we wanted to do that we didn't get to do. Like I said, next time we're probably gonna go tubing, and they're putting in like a 4-person zip line at the Olympic Center, and there's just so many things to go back for that we'll check out next time. So I hope this helped you plan your trip. Hopefully I can edit this down so it's not like super long. I am probably going to, if it's too long, you're gonna see I'll make separate little videos of each area, because I don't want this thing being that long and torturous. So hopefully I can insert a lot of footage over me, and I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if there's things, because we definitely plan on going back here. I don't know when we'll be here, but if you have tips and tricks and things that you think we should do and things that we would like, please let us know. We would love to hear them, and we appreciate your recommendations. We hope our recommendations help you, and we hope you go to Lake Placid KOA, and maybe we'll see you there, jumping off the cliffs, swimming down the river. I'll be there in my tube and my Osmo, and we'll see you there.